A shadow actually incited you to kill someone? This is definitely the most bizarre case the analysis team has ever encountered. A murderer was brought to the interrogation room, but he claimed that he had encountered something terrifying that night. His wife heard a noise downstairs before going to bed, so she asked him to go downstairs to check. He checked the doors and windows and found nothing wrong, but then he smelled the scent of burning sage. Instantly, he felt dizzy and dizzy. Soon, something terrifying happened. A shadow-like monster appeared in the distance. He rushed upstairs and told his wife to call the police.
Call 911!
According to Larry, the shadow monster had front claws. He knew it sounded absurd, but that's what he saw. He also heard his wife screaming. Then he fainted. He knew the police would come and arrest him. Larry swore he didn't kill his wife, but the fact was that he stabbed his wife to death with a knife. The neighbors heard the screams and called the police. When the police arrived, he was still holding the murder weapon, and the wound on his chest was evidence. Larry claimed he was scratched by the shadow monster, but his DNA was found under his wife's nails. Why would he kill his own wife?
Think back to the words she was screaming.
Larry!
Yalowin then produced 2 photos. The people in the photos were Daniel and Christine. Like Larry, they both claimed to have seen a shadow monster attack them at home. But the truth was, Daniel had killed his mother, and Christine had killed her boyfriend, and neither of them remembered what had happened at the time. In other words, someone had used some method to cause the 3 of them to suffer mental breakdowns, leading them to kill the people around them. This was also something the analysis team needed to investigate. Why did the murderer choose these 3 people? First, it must be determined whether the 3 are lying. If they are trying to clear themselves of guilt, then this lie is clearly the most unreasonable. As for whether it could be a collective hallucination, Reed believes it is also unlikely, because the 3 lie very far apart, and their lives seem to have no connection. From their descriptions, it seems as though they were all under control, but the toxicology tests for all 3 came back negative, unless it was a new type of poison they had never seen before. What's strange is how the killer managed to make this poison have the same effect on all 3 of them, unless the 3 of them already had mental issues, and the poison was just the trigger. The killer knew it would make them kill, so identifying their shared mental issues could lead to the real culprit. Morgan and JJ first questioned Daniel, hoping to use cognitive interviews to awaken his memories of the incident. According to Daniel's recollection, he had happily returned home, but did not see his mother, so he took a beer from the refrigerator. He felt that the taste of the beer seemed off, but soon realized that the smell was not coming from the beer but from the air. It was also the smell of sage. Soon he passed out. When he woke up, it was already nighttime, and he was tied to a table. Soon the shadow monster appeared. According to him, the shadow monster had eagle claws on its hands. Later, he hid in a cabinet, until the police came to take him away. Then he saw his mother's body. However, according to the state police report, there were no signs of binding on Daniel's body. In other words, it was all his hallucination. As for Christine, she had become mentally unstable. After the incident, she suddenly stopped talking about it altogether. Clearly, no useful clues were obtained from either of them. At this point, Garcia made a new discovery. All 3 were adopted in 1985. The problem was that there was no record of where they were adopted. At the time, there was no internet, making it difficult to find detailed information. Meanwhile, Rossi and Reed went to Larry's house. They did not find any adoption documents. All 3 knew they were adopted, but why couldn't they remember the circumstances at the time?
Well, both men reported smelling sage. They must have inhaled a drug.
They had to breathe it in. Anything?